So, hello and welcome. What I hope will be a maybe weekly series of exploring Azeroth. Now, I probably will explain more as I go through, explain a little bit about how I got into World of Warcraft because I I like to joke that I am the most casual of casual players. I have been playing World of Warcraft actually. Technically, I played it in the first week that it was out, but at that time, I I hated it. It was not my style of game, and it frustrated me, and I was just playing it over at a friend's house, and I thought it absolutely a terrible game. And so I played it for about I'd say 4 or 5 hours that first time. And even though my friend who I played it at her house, she was totally into it, always was telling me how she loved it. I didn't pick it back up again until I would say about a year later, maybe a little more when Burning Crusade came out. And then again, I mostly played it over at her house. Late in Burning Crusade, or possibly early in the next expansion, which was Wrath of the Lich King, my son had started playing the game, and I got a little more interested, and I had a few more friends that were playing. So that is when I seriously started playing the game, and it took me a long time to settle on my favorite class and things like that, which we are not going to be playing with my or exploring with my favorite class. We are going to be using Beryl, you see on the screen there. She is one of my favorite characters that I have ever made, and she is on server Guard, which has an interesting reputation that I feel is both slightly deserved and slightly undeserved. Moonguard is what is known as a role-playing server, which is something that I got into about 2 years ago. And it was because I was starting to get burned out and bored of just playing the game. I don't really enjoy doing the dungeons and the raids or the PvP like so many people into doing. I just liked being casual and exploring and seeing what I could find that either I had never seen or maybe a lot of other people hadn't seen. So I liked poking around in things, and I read up a little bit on role playing, and I did read a little bit on the unsavory side of role playing, which it's there, but you have to look for it. I mean, what I truly found with playing community is that most of it, at its best, is cooperative storytelling, and it's a way to work kind of like playing Barbies grown-ups in in a way. And so I started the character Beryl, and I came up with this whole involved backstory for her, and made a lot of good friends. So many good friends. Some that I still talk to daily. And Beryl sort of became her obsession in this game became finding houses. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing as we explore Azeroth. I will show you some of the cool little houses that I found. I will show you some of the I guess you would call them secrets, although I'm sure most people playing World of Warcraft for years already know most of these. But I kind of have the feeling a lot of the watch my channel possibly have never poked their heads in, and if nothing else, this is a very pretty game. Now my face is going to go away because to look at the pretty scene, I'm going to take you to places. And this first place that we are going to explore is the hub of the world, Stormwind. It's the main city. It's the capital of the Alliance side of the game, and the game has a whole lot of different things that go on within it. You have your two different sides, which the Alliance and the Horde, and they are constantly at war, but they also constantly up together. So, anyway, but I'm going to take you through. We are going to explore Stormwind today, and a little bit on the outskirts of Stormwind, and then that'll be it for today, and next time we come in, bring something else. Let's get to it. And I have to resize. Alright, I got all the sizing issues worked out. First things first, we are going to meet Beryl. She is a void elf. They are one of the newer factions. Join the Alliance side. I kind of always for elves because honestly I kind of wish that I looked like an elf. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that they have idealized form as far as cartoon characters. But Beryl is standing right here at the gates of Stormwind, and so we're gonna go in and I will show you some of the interesting things that you find within Stormwind. Some of them you might know about, some of them you might not. So let's get to it. Now the first thing that you see is shack down here and this fishing area. It doesn't really have anything, but it's pretty. And I also decided to go ahead and have the music going because I think that the music in World of Warcraft is absolutely beautiful. I mean, as far as musical scores go, I do know that some other games are considered to be better, but no, I kind of dig this. Anyway, we come into Stormwind, first into the trade district. You will see a lot of other players that we are going to try not to run over because that seems kind of rude. The trade district tends to be the most crowded area of town. In it, you have a bank, you have an inn, and you have an auction house. All your basic things. Now, something that I'm sure a lot of people do know about, but some might not, is after you are leaving the flight path and heading towards the barber shop, which is where you can go and slightly customize your characters. And I think it's this barber shop. When you go upstairs, you see all these nifty little gnomes who are here to give your character a haircut. But I think it's this one. I know one of these barber shops. Yep. I think that the barber downstairs has done something. Some gnomes. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there is a pair of skeletons under that bench. So I thought that was kind of a cute little secret thing. Also looks like he might have killed them with that razor. So I think that could be a reference to the demon barber. And that, but I'm not sure. I would doubt it because a lot of World of Warcraft is very referential. Alright, now, as you are walking along, if you are in Stormwind here along the canals, keep an eye out, and I don't know if we'll see him or not, but you always want to keep an eye out for a little boy who is walking along. He is a non-player character, an NPC, and I think his name is Timmy, and he sells one item, and that one item is a very cute little white kitten. and he is the only person that will sell it, and he is the only person you can get it from. So that's kind of a fun thing as we do Stormwind. Now we're going to walk over into the next section. Now Stormwind, if you look at the map, is got 5 different districts. You've got the Dwarven district, you've got Old Town, which is where most of the humans are. Dwarven district obviously is the dwarf area. You have the Mage Quarter, where all the magicians hang out, and then you have Cathedral Square, where the services to the light are held. And I'm not going to get too much into the lore, because honestly, a lot of it I don't know. I will be very honest here. Now, here is something that I did want to show you, though, because a lot of people don't know about it. And that is, if you go into Old Town, just past this store, the Protective Hide, and you turn, there's this little alley right down here. When you go down this little alley, there is a vendor who will sell your character this motorcycle right here. Now it's quite expensive, but you can buy it for 100,000 gold. Which, I mean, you can earn money fairly easily in WoW. You can also buy a few other things over here, not too many, but it's definitely something that I didn't know about for a very, very long time. So, that is my little secret over here in Old Town. We're gonna move on and head to, let's see, I actually wrote things down. I'm so proud of myself. What other little secrets do we have here? There really aren't a lot of actual secrets within Stormwind anymore. There used to be a lot more, but World of Warcraft has gone through many, many iterations over the years, and so a lot of the things that used to be in it are no longer in it. Also, Stormwind, unlike some of the other main cities that I'm going to show you, doesn't have much in the way of housing, which always made me very, very sad, because, like I said, that has become my little obsession, is to find really cool houses in this game. Alright, I think Beryl needs to get some flying done, because running around at ground level is kind of boring. So, we're going to summon her cute little kitty cat. Now, I have a lot of mounts, but this one, kind of a favorite. And we are going to jump into the air, and we are a little bit of flying. If you didn't know about it, over here, just outside of Old Town, is the training area. At the back of the training area is where you can buy all of the human mounts, which is a bunch of different horses. So if you're ever looking for where to buy your mounts from, your basic horse mounts, that would be where it is. And I know there are probably people watching this who have been playing World of Warcraft for years and years and years, and you already know all of this. So if you know all of this, my apologies, but if you didn't know it, well, now you do. Alright, the next little thing that is a lot of fun, we actually have to go outside of the Dwarven district to go into, and it's pretty much the only house that I've found in Stormwind City. It's, have to find the little hotel. Here it is. Alright, you go to this little hotel right here, which is right along the canals. It's called the Shady Lady. You go into the little hotel. You're going to cross through into this little secret alleyway. At the end of the alleyway, you go into this little house, which is Cutthroat Alley. It is completely unoccupied, and it qualifies as a house. Now, what do I qualify as a house? To qualify as a house, it has to have some place to sit and some place to go to sleep. So this is the only place that I fully qualify as a house. Plus, darn it, I want a canopy bed in real life, so I think it's pretty nice. Alright, that is the other little thing that I figured a lot of people might not know about. A couple other little things that I think pretty much everybody who's ever played World of Warcraft knows about, but we'll go look at them anyway. A couple little things. One is there is a very, very nice area up here above the Mage District, and it's a good place to just come and sit in a very pretty ambiance. And that is this nice little portal area up here. Now, this portal does not do anything. It doesn't work at all. Well, it does work, but it only works from a different continent. So from this area, it does nothing. But it makes a very nice little spot to just sit and have conversations with friends. So in case you didn't know about that, plus it's pretty darn cool. You got your little picnic stuff, you got your little floating books. It's kind of fun. Now down here in the Mage Quarter, you have the tower, which is full of portals to take you to other places. But you also have two bars out here, one of which has a very, very well-known, at least to most players, little secret at the bottom of it, which isn't really a secret. But this is the sort of shady inn, which is called the Slaughtered Lamb. And it used to be the only place that warlocks could go to get their training. And so a lot of people would just come and get their training and never really look beyond. But underneath Slaughtered Lamb are catacombs, which are down here, and sometimes when you come down in them you can find interesting little books in the corner. And a lot of the books and things in World of Warcraft are clickable, and they have very interesting stories. And sometimes to finish reading the story, you have to find all of the books. And that is an achievement in the game, to have read all of the books in World of Warcraft, which, believe it or not, I still haven't done, because there are still some books that I have not found. But that is one that is usually down at the basement of the Slaughtered Lamb. There's one other catacomb that I do know of in Stormwind City itself, and that is under the cathedral. That one is also kind of full of just little bones, scraps, and things like that. The other thing that a lot of people like to come and see in Stormwind is the beautiful harbor area with the lighthouses and everything like that. So that is where we are heading next. Now, within the game itself, recently, as far as game time, Stormwind's king was killed, and he was laid to rest over here, where all of the citizens can come and pay their respects to their fallen king. And beautiful music going right behind that. But now also his wife is laid to rest in the cemetery, which is right out here by the harbor. So here's the harbor. If you're playing the game, there are 3 different ships that come in and out periodically, and you can take those ships to various places on the planet. You can also get over to this lighthouse, and I was so upset to find out when I first started playing that you can't go inside this lighthouse, because I always thought it would be the coolest place to just hang out and have a good time. Unfortunately, all you can do is sit on the lighthouse. But it beats nothing. It's kind of fun to look at. Also, if you were jumping at that buzzing noise, that was me accidentally hitting the fatigue zone because World of Warcraft doesn't really want you going too far off the map, and they punish you by killing you. But alright, we are going to go over here. First, we're going to go visit the last Queen of Stormwind's grave over here in the cemetery. It's quite a cemetery over here. This is where the former Queen of Stormwind died. I think she was hit in the head with a rock, if I'm remembering the lore correctly, but don't quote me on that. But it is Tiffin Rin, the Queen of Stormwind, fair and just, as with a wit as quick as her smile. May the light inherit your warmth, for our world is cold in your absence. So that is where the last queen is buried. The current King of Stormwind is unmarried and possibly might stay that way. Who knows? Alright, my last little secret within Stormwind, and then we will move on to two things that are just outside of Stormwind that you might not know about. But this is something that is just, honestly, it's just fun. If you come to Stormwind and you land over here, these people are called Pandaren. They look like pandas, and they are quite nice. They are a playable race, but you see that there's this cute little panda cub. Isn't it cute? All you have to do is select that panda cub, and you can do emotes in this game by just typing slash and the command. So I am going to love Meng Meng the panda. Meng Meng is quite appreciative that I loved it. So now we're going to focus in on Beryl here. Really quick, because Meng Meng gave me a magical bamboo shoot. You can get as many of these as you want, you just can only have one at a time. But after you get your magical bamboo shoot, let's eat this thing. Obviously, magic is always good. And now, for the next 10 minutes, your character will be a panda bear. And what's even better is you can mount up and look like yourself. Great, because that is the next thing we are going to do, is do a little quick run just outside of town. So I can show you something that is just outside of town, right in the foothills, past the cathedral. I can do it correctly. It's always so much fun trying to remember where it is. There it is. There is a neat little cottage up here, and it's kind of a nice place. It just looks really random. Just a cottage up in the hills above Stormwind City with all these cute little sheep. Now watch, when I get off of that, I am back to being a panda, which I think is so cute. So we're going to look around. We're going to look at these sheep. They are docile sheep. Huh. This sheep looks a little unusual, doesn't it? Wonder who owns this sheep. Probably this gnome right here. See, I hardly consider this to be a real house, because obviously it has no table, chairs, or bed. So because I am so angry about this table, no chairs, no bed, I am going to throw my throwing knife at this sheep. Darn it. Actually, I'm going to blow up all the sheep. And then the sheep blows you up. That sheep is Tecton. He is the explosive sheep who is owned by this person who then yells at you. Now, two other things before we end this video. is if you come just leaving Tecton the sheep, you can come right down here and you can find, they have nothing to do with anything, honestly. They're just very interesting, which is a lot of things that I find. But you have Rue and Terp, and they're dogs, and they're out here camping. And if you talk to him, this dwarf says that he used to be an adventurer just like him. He fought his way here, him and Rue, all the way through Pandaria, Outland. They were stabbing and healing and everything else. Now, they just want to spend their time in a quiet place with their 2 little dogs. And that's
Watch your back.
Their entire story. They have no purpose here other than that, but it's the little things in World of Warcraft that makes me happy and smile. The one last thing, if you need it, and you are a game player, and you come up here, this is again just below those 2, there is a random vendor right up here, and he will sell you a Tome of the Clear Mind if you don't know anyone that does inscription, which is a profession in World of Warcraft. You can get it from him and reset all of your talents. Before I forget, there is actually one last thing, which I feel like a lot of people might know, but then again, you might not. And that is, there is a pet vendor, sells all sorts of kitty cats, and she lives just outside of the Stormwind gates in a little cottage, and she is called the Crazy Cat Lady, and we will run over and visit her before I sign off. Actually, before I sign off, we're going to show you one other thing. I keep thinking I feel like that meme, the one more thing meme. But yeah, let's take you to the Crazy Cat Lady's house, which I think probably could have stood for me for a very long time, because I have had more cats than I could shake a stick at. Only have 2 now. I think you probably have seen on my channel if you've been watching for any amount of time. But it's this little house right here. You just have to fight your way through some bandits to get to it, but this is the Crazy Cat Lady. She sells a Bombay cat, a Cornish Rex, an orange tabby, and a silver tabby.
See you around.
So if those are pets that you don't have and you are a World of Warcraft player, you can come up and get them. Alright, the last thing we are going to do, because it is where I am going to leave you before we head to the second major city on our next episode of this, which will be the dwarven city of Ironforge, which has a lot more houses to it. But just in case you didn't know, to get to the city of Ironforge from the city of Stormwind, you can of course go to the flight trainer, or the flight portal guy, and take a griffin there, but that takes a very long time. The other thing you can do is go down through this gear and get onto the Deep Run tram, which is basically a subway system that runs between Stormwind and Ironforge. And you might have gotten on the tram before. We're not going to jump on it yet, because the other thing that I'm sure most people know about, but I didn't for a long time, is just underneath of the Deep Run tram have another little area, and it is called the Brawler Guild, which there is a nice little bar down here, the Brawler's Brew Pub, and yeah, the nice little place if you've got friends to hang out with in-game, which I have before. You can come down here, you can have a seat, you can get your character very, very drunk, because there is a bar with drinks up here, and that is one thing that they are good at, is making sure that the alcohol in the game will make you feel like you are actually drunk in real life. It's actually something I don't enjoy in real life or in game, but a lot of people do. But that is where I am going to leave you on this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe I got to show you something that you didn't know about in game if you've been playing. And if you've never played the game and are just here because I made a video and you're like, what on earth are we even doing here? You know, we're looking at some pretty game. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do this about once a week, probably for about the same amount of time as this, the 20 to 30 minute episodes, and we're just gonna explore Azeroth bit by bit. Obviously, as you saw in my thumbnail, this is the Eastern Kingdoms that we are doing first, because the world, this is the Eastern Kingdoms. Then we will explore Kalmandor next, and we're going to go expansion by expansion, so then we will explore the areas in Outland. Then we'll come back and we will explore Pandaria, where the panda people are from, and Northrend, the cold and frigid north. That has a lot of beautiful areas. And then we will go on to Kulturas and Zandalar. And periodically, for some of the other faction, the Horde, for some of their main cities, Beryl actually has a sister who is in the Horde, and we will be using her to explore their cities. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one.